And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started with her and signed to the Def Jam.
Jaguar Wright just spilled some piping hot tea about Beyonce and Jay-Z, and seemingly accused them of trying to sacrifice Rihanna for years now. There's been this ongoing buzz about Beyonce possibly harboring some secret jealousy toward Rihanna, and there were even rumors that Beyonce banned Jay-Z from getting anywhere close to Ryrie. However, it looks like this story has another much darker side. According to Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z allegedly groomed Rihanna when she was a teenager, and then later on J&B reportedly tried to sabotage Riri's career and eliminate her from the spotlight. Luckily, Rihanna caught on to their alleged evil plan and ran for her life, distancing herself from the Carters for good. But what exactly did Jaguar reveal about these supposed sacrifices J&B and Sierra doing, and did Rihanna really almost end up being their victim? Let's get into it.
And that first night, when he had that outbreak and he busted into Clive Davis's house and said, "Where the is this dirty Jack?" I can't fault him for that.
The ongoing saga of Beyonce and Rihanna's alleged feud is back in the spotlight. And this time there are some fresh reports throwing shade on why Queen Bee might not be Ryrie's biggest fan. So let's rewind it a bit for some context. Back in 2005, Rihanna auditioned for Jay-Z, and he was so blown away that he signed her on the spot. For the next 3 months, Jay-Z and his team worked their magic creating Rihanna's debut album, Music of the Sun. Now, here's where the plot thickens somewhere in the midst of the record. Earning Rihanna and Beyonce crossed paths, Rihanna spilled the tea back then, claiming that Beyonce was super sweet, even dropping some pearls of wisdom about performing live.
And so has she given you any kind of advice or...
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me, just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
But hold on to your hats, because according to the latest scoop, there might be more to this story than meets the eye. So here's the scoop. As Rihanna's star wrote, "Go higher and higher," rumor has it that Beyonce did a 180 and started giving her the cold shoulder right after Ryan dropped. Music of the Sun whispers started circulating that Rihanna and Jay-Z were allegedly having an affair. Beyonce, tight-lipped on the matter, chose an interesting way to express herself. In 2006, she released her second solo album, Dave, featuring not one but 2 songs about infidelity, resentment, and Ring the Alarm Cue. The eyebrow raises and the intense speculation that these tracks were throwing some major shade at Rihanna. Here's where it gets even juicier. While Jay-Z did come clean years later on his album 444 about his own infidelity, the rumors about him getting cozy with Rihanna were apparently nothing more than hot air. Rihanna's former publicist Jonathan Hayes spilled the tea, revealing that he fabricated the entire story about Jay-Z and Rihanna getting involved. According to Hay, it was all a PR stunt to promote Rihanna's breakout hit Pon Replay. But if the rumors about Jay-Z and Rihanna were just a PR stunt, why does Beyonce still seem to be holding on to some sort of grudge against Riri? Well, rumor has it that Beyonce might be the gatekeeper of the Queen of R&B title in her mind. Yep, she's got this belief that there can only be one queen, and it looks like she's not ready to share that throne with anyone. Fans have been quick to point out the curious fact that these two have never teamed up for a collaboration. And what's even more eyebrow-raising is that Beyonce hasn't lifted a finger to put the feud rumors to rest. Let's fast forward to 2019 when Beyonce dropped Bow Down. Fans were all ears, and many couldn't help but feel that the lyrics were throwing some major shade in Rihanna's direction, along with a few other leading ladies in the music game. It's worth noting that some fans found the lyrics a tad too much, especially coming from a self-proclaimed feminist like Beyonce. I mean, here's a woman who champions empowerment, yet the lyrics seem to be painting a different picture, almost like she was demanding worship and tossing around the B word to her fellow female artists.
If you have to say bow down, then there's no need to bow down. It's like if you call yourself a diva, then you're not really a diva. There's certain things that don't need to be said. I mean, You know, a few weeks ago, she was singing at the inauguration. Then she was performing at the Super Bowl. We celebrate. You're on a Pepsi can, for goodness sakes, to tell B words to bow down. And then you're saying girls run the world.
But wait, because here's where the plot thickens. The songwriting brother duo Thon and Timothy Thomas, also known as Our City, spilled the beans that they originally wrote Bow Down with Rihanna in mind. However, Riri gave it a pass, and somehow Queen Bee snagged the track one of the brothers even dropped. The bomb that he had never crossed paths with Beyonce and was in fact tailoring Bow Down specifically for the one and only Rihanna. But remember when Beyonce casually mentioned waking up with the idea or bow down in her head? Well, it turns out that might not be the whole story. In fact, it seems like Queen Bee might have been, dare we say it, bending the truth a bit. So not only did Beyonce take a bit of creative credit for the song, but she essentially claimed ownership of a track that was in essence a Rihanna reject. Imagine the surprise when you realize that the fiery anthem with its edgy lyrics and Queen Bee attitude wasn't initially meant for her. It's like finding out the origin story of a superhero costume that was originally designed for someone else. And you know who else was likely taken? A Rihanna herself. When Beyonce made those comments about waking up with the bow down idea, it's no wonder Riri might have felt a bit singled out or even personally called out. I mean, here's a song that was meant for her now being sung by another musical powerhouse, and to top it off with a bit of creative embellishment in the storytelling. So shortly after Bow Down dropped, R retweeted I only know hot W to be number one. I could use a challenge. How that feel down there on your knee? Now, all you original Rihanna fans probably remember the golden era when Riri was straight up savage, dragging folks left and right on Twitter like it was her daily workout routine. But here's the thing about Rihanna. She's not just a queen of clapbacks, she's also one of the most authentic celebrities out there. Every time she found herself dragged into some mess, you better believe it was only because she was defending herself. Now fast forward to the time when Vogue decided to dig into the juicy stuff and asked Rihanna to spill the tea on those persistent feud rumors with Beyonce. Rihanna, being the queen of unbothered, brushed it off with a hearty chuckle. According to her, the whole thing was just plain silly. She went on to explain that she's not the type to lose sleep over competition or get tangled up in petty rivalry drama. Here's the deal: they just get so excited to feast on something that's negative. Rihanna told Vogue something that's competitive, something that's, a rivalry that's just not what I wake up to, because I can only do me and nobody else is going to be able to do that. But despite Rihanna distancing herself from the feud rumors, Beyonce's feelings toward Rihanna's success are still the talk of the town. In fact, an insider, someone in the know and close to the situation, recently stepped up to spill the tea and said it all boils down to one thing: Beyonce's insecurity. Yes, you heard it right. According to this insider, Queen Bee feels a bit shaky when faced with strong, outspoken women like Rihanna. It's like there's a threat to her own throne when confronted with ladies who fearlessly speak their minds and carve their own paths in the music industry. His insider, who's apparently in the know, spilled the beans on Beyonce's alleged track record of sabotaging other female artists. Rumor has it that she even went so far as to convince Jay-Z to leak Rihanna's 8th studio album, Anti, ahead of its scheduled release date. Why, you ask? Well, the speculation suggests that Beyonce wanted to ensure that Rihanna's album wouldn't overshadow the rollout of her track Formation.